I'm Dr. Matt Johnson, an AI researcher living in Japan, but I used to be a professional game developer. Making games was great, but I want games to be more. That's why I'm building JpnMana. If built right, you'll learn the Japanese language, Japan's culture and history, and its geography, just from enjoying a game. All right, it's the first day of the sprint, and we're doing good so far. We've got 8 custom variations that my friend Jay, who's doing a lot of the design work, came up with. So far, so good. We've got 8 out of the 8. We have 4 of them implemented now. Prototypes from last week are working well. No complaints there. I added some additional tasks, some video editing, and some other miscellaneous stuff to do for this sprint. So we're up to 40 hours-ish of tasks to do. That's looking good. Variations are looking good. We're going to try to extend design tool so that we can really fine tune and optimize the playtesting experience. Right now, it's really an inconvenient user experience. You have to stop the program and restart the program and change some code to change which fighters or heroes we want to use to fight, which monsters to fight, and blah, 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 and their level. And so Jay's going to do some work this sprint to design a slightly better UI for really fine-tuning and optimizing the playtest experience so that we can really just bang through and playtest loads and loads of heroes. And we might even add, now that I think about it, we might even add some type of editor to change the amount of damage that skills do. That's going to be slightly more complicated, but that'd be really convenient if we had a way to mouse click up, mouse click down, this hero, that hero, this skill's not doing enough damage, this should do more. For slightly more complex things like, all right, well, should the damage function consider the level of the hero or the level of the effect, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it might be more work. Yeah, so in any case, this sprint, we've got some big changes coming to the design tool for simulating combat. And so far, the custom variations are going in really well. Those previous variation prototypes work like a charm. We've got the syntax squared away, and so far so good. So let's keep banging on. All right, well, disaster. I tried to upgrade Windows 8.1 to Windows 10, and I got a bunch of memory errors and miscellaneous failures to upgrade, and long story short, Windows won't upgrade. So that's annoying. So what we have today, Saturday, man, it's such a good day to get a bunch of programming done. All right, but here's what we got. So I'm going to run a diagnostic tool to check the memory. Load up his machine, install a memory check tool onto a USB, run that on this machine, find out which memory stick might have bad memory, take the memory out of that machine and swap out whatever bad sticks I've got, and then rerun this guy with the new memory, and then hopefully install Windows 10. So first steps first, load up his machine, see what we got going on over there. Yeah, fun stuff. So here's a great example of fun with computers. I got all the stuff set up. We got a keyboard down here, we got a monitor, we got a mouse, we got whatever, and then, alright, what's the big deal? Let's just do it. This has 3 prongs. Boo. Alright, so we're off to the 7-Eleven to pick up a power strip so that we can plug this stuff in. Well, 7-Eleven didn't have it, and Family Mart didn't have it. Family Mart had a 2-plug. An extension cord with 2 plugs? Why did they even make that? Anyway. Alright, we're back. We got our thing. How to develop a game, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so this might help. So it looks like this might be the first time that this has ever booted up. All right, we got this machine up and running. So that's decent. I'm really glad though that my buddy left me his computer, else this would be a huge pain in the ass to do all this stuff. We got the MemTest 86 Plus installed on this bad boy. Time to go put him on this bad boy. Alright, well this is fun. So something's wrong with the MemTest 86 Plus. I don't know, it looks like it's not running, so maybe I gotta check what's going on there. Well, this is fun. So anyway, I don't know, I can't get MemTest 86 Plus to boot, even though I ran the installer twice. So maybe that memory stick is too old or something, who knows. I found it in the closet. Could be older than hell. Okay, MemTest 86 Plus didn't work, so I downloaded MemTest 86. We're gonna see if that one works. Alright, looks like we got a little success here. Finally, MemTest 86 Plus killed us. Memory test will automatically start. Yeah, well, that's a couple of errors, isn't it? So we might be due for a new stick of RAM. Test. Oh, wow. Alright, well, there you go. Alright, well, the memory test succeeded, failed a bunch. So I'm going to pull out one stick of RAM at a time and find out which stick is bad. The memory test continues, but we're making progress. Alright, we're on like hour 5 of this memory test. I can't believe this thing is still going, but I don't know, it's still green, so maybe everything's fine. I'll just keep letting it run though. Alright, so turns out this hard drive has died. The computer mostly back together. I need to fix a boot table for Windows so that the machine will load properly. Fun stuff. Alright, well, I just cannot buy a break. So, as we can see, some computer parts down here. I have an extra drive over here that is supposed to be external right now, but it has died. And I've been able to confirm that with the additional PC. But now I understand why I had a really hard time loading into Ubuntu after Windows 10 installation. So, it has been a really fun weekend. Alright, after like a few days of screwing around with Windows and Ubuntu and boot tables, and we got Windows installed. We got Ubuntu installed. I tried to rebuild the boot table. It was in hindsight, I think I needed to build additional partitions to build the boot table because they are not loaded. Standard partition, so to speak, works. So, well, in any case, had a dead hard drive, dead RAM stick in that situation. Upgrade of Windows 10 didn't work, and yeah, well, in any case, we're down 4 days of progress. Can't be helped, I suppose. Got both installed now, so back to progress. Tough first week, yeah. Well, like you said, bit of a tough sprint, but we got after it. So, 4 main topics: hero specific variations, remaining battlefields, design tool v1.1, and we started the Meizan. Alright, started off with the burn down, sprint 12, started off strong, got a whole lot of nothing done in the middle, picked it up with a bunch of late nights at the end there, got the task finished. If you remember, combat was a bit too slow, a bit too mundane, a bit too generic. Needed something, spice it up. So, what do? We introduce skill variations. Last sprint, Momotaro gets 3. Those are our prototypes. We use those prototypes to implement a bunch more this sprint. With the syntax out of the way, we should be able to bang them out. Jay, the designer, sits down, creates 8 new hero-specific variations, 1 for each hero. It's looking good. The prototypes work great. The start of the sprint, we knock out 4 in no time. Disaster strikes. Nothing gets done. But at the end of the sprint, we get the computers back up and running, spend a few late nights working hard, extra hours. We're able to knock out the remaining 4 variations for the heroes. Battlefields. If you can remember from last sprint, we had 3 tasks related to battlefields that we didn't get finished, and we carried over to this sprint from the previous sprint. I hate doing that, but sometimes it happens. However, this time we have disaster. Nevertheless, after the computers get back up and running, we're able to sit down and spend the time to implement the battlefields and get their data into the game. All right, design tool 1.1. What's the goal? We want to maximize the efficiency of our time on iteration. Iteration is one of the most important characteristics of game design. The more times that players, play testers, designers, programmers can iterate on their game, the better their game is going to be. So what are we going to do? Currently, we have this really unpleasant interface where we have to start and stop the game in order to change details of who's in the combat. And this is a slow process for playtesting. So version 1.1, we're going to have an in-game tool that allows us to make changes to the players and monsters' stats. This way, we'll be able to iterate much faster, and that'll allow us to make much better decisions about how to create good game. If the game's not fun, no one's going to want to play it. Last but not least, Meizan. This is going to be a new YouTube series that we're going to do to help introduce some of the best parts of Japan to people interested in the Japanese language and Japanese culture. In the 70s, there was a hiker that was dissatisfied with the idea that there wasn't a list of best mountains to hike in Japan, so he set it upon himself to make such a list. And it turns out that list was wonderful and everybody loved it. It had a book. A bunch of people bought the book, including Emperor, if I understand the story correctly. Emperor praised the book and some of the mountains that he hiked. Based on the book's recommendations, became cult classic within the hiking community, trekking community of Japan. So we aim to hike those 100 mountains over the next handful of years and document those trips and place them on the YouTube channel so that we can introduce those nice mountains to all of you. This particular mountain that you're looking at now is Akagi-san in Gunma Prefecture. There will be a video coming soon, so stay tuned for hiking 99 more mountains over the next couple of years. Well, that'll do it for this time. Thanks for watching. As always, you can follow us on social media, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.